Hey, you guys, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. What's going on? What is going on? Hey, exclusive, my girl. What is going on? Good morning, Deanne, Miss Ducksworth. Good morning. I hope you are feeling better. I hope you are feeling better. Michelle, Self Love, Rashida, Sonia. What's going on, you guys? Good morning to you all. Good morning to you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. All right, you guys, listen. So I'm gonna get right into it, y'all, because y'all know I gotta get right into it because I put myself on a time limit. So I have an hour to really go through everything. We are going to touch on the Keimani story because they had some latest developments yesterday. And I know that a lot of awareness has not been coming to that. So I said I was going to start bringing awareness and stuff like that, y'all, because it's happening too much. It's happening too much for nobody to really be speaking on it. And then I want to bring in a correlation of what's been happening on YouTube. I'm going to give my opinion about the whole situation with, boundaries of influencers, content creators, blah, blah, blah. And also, speaking on children, also, what I want to also talk about. And since it's basically going on with the latest person that we all have been talking about in the saga, Brianna, that is why, I'm going to touch on her and kind of correlate her into this because of the situation that she has been dealing with as of lately. Well, hey, Brown Eyes. Hey, Island Girl. Good morning. Good morning to you guys. But listen, y'all, there's two things I want to do. Well, first, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me read my disclaimer. Hold on, let me find it. All right, so you guys, my lives are informational and for entertainment purposes only and based on my own thoughts and opinions. I do not speak for any specific party, group, or team. My opinion represents my channel and mine only. I welcome all opinions and comments, but disrespect will not be tolerated. And as you guys, that's going across my screen. So as long as you in there, we good. Now, before I start getting into content, you guys, I want to give you guys a riddle. And I want to see if you guys can figure this riddle out. And let me tell y'all something about this. This riddle is so old, you guys, but I see it still coming up in different contexts and people are still getting it wrong. And I just find it so hilarious. So I said that I was going to open up my lives with a riddle. And I want to see who can figure this riddle out. Now, depending on how this riddle goes, you guys, what I'm going to do is when I go live regular, when I implement a riddle, whoever gets it right, you got to drop your cash app. Okay? But I want to see how it goes. Let me see. Hold on a second. But y'all, this riddle is it's easy, but people still tend to get it wrong. And I don't understand why. But hey, Miss Jenkins. All right, so hold on, y'all. Let me find it. Oh, God. Let me find it. Because I know I screenshotted it. Now, if you get it right, good for you. Hey, Miss Dee Dee. But a lot of people are getting it wrong. So you got to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how smart are you? How smart are you? So I may ask 3 questions. This is just to kind of get a laugh in for the morning. I may ask 3 questions, but so listen. Hey, Miss Harrison, good morning. All right, so first riddle is, can y'all hear over the music? I hope y'all can hear over that. A lot of people say they can't, but just let me know if you can hear it. If you can't hear, just let me know. Anyway, so the riddle is, David's father has 3 sons. Snap, crackle, And who is the third son? So David's father has 3 sons. The son's name are Snap, Crackle. What's the other son's name? I'm gonna see who can figure this out. I'm gonna see. Demetra got it on the first try. Y'all would not believe people who actually say pop, snap, crackle, and pop. I could not believe that. I was like, that is so obvious. That is so obvious. Okay, so here's the second riddle. So that was an easy one. Here's the second riddle, you guys. All right. So listen carefully. You wanted to say, I know it was somebody that wanted to say it. LaShonda said she wanted to say, I know it was somebody that was going to want to say it. All right, so here's another riddle. I am easy to lift, but hard to throw. What am I? And y'all don't be cheating. Don't be cheating. I am easy to lift, but hard to throw. What am I? Self-love. She said she's getting ready to say it. Again, I'm going to say it again. What is, I am easy to lift, but hard to throw. What am, oh my God, Miss Jenkins, you got to get out the chat for real. Because she keep getting them. No, bro, it's not a person. It's a feather. Miss Jiggers, I think you cheating. I think you cheating over there. But yes, she is right. It is a feather. It's a feather. All right. Now, y'all, here is a really, Mission, you got to get out. So here's another old one, okay? Here's another old one. And I know y'all done heard of this. Hold on. Let me get this out of the way. And Miss Jenkins, you can't answer no more. Hey, Latricia. Hey, Hazel. No, she can't answer no more. No, she got 2 right already. She can't answer no more. Well, I ain't going to ask that one. I'm not going to ask that one. All right, so this is an easy one, y'all. This is an easy one. What is, no, you cannot. All right. What is more useful when it's broken? What's more useful when it's broken? That's a little bit of an easy one too, y'all. What is useful? What did I say? What is more useful when it's broken? Oh my God. You know what? See, what? Raw truth. So I'm going to give it the raw truth this time. Even though Mr. Xavier, I'm going to give it the raw truth. Thank you, raw truth. Yes, and egg. So, y'all, I just wanted to do some questions like that. I have like a whole book for them, you guys. So I want to do some easy ones. So, like, that's just to kind of like get everybody into like riddles. But y'all, I have heard the craziest riddles where people completely get them wrong, and it's just like okay, I know one, because you might won't get. Now this is one I heard yesterday. I'm gonna see if I can tell it right. Now it says that you're on a boat, you have 13 crocodiles. Yes, self-love. All right, you on a boat. Well, you're not on a boat because you wouldn't be stupid enough to be on a boat with crocodiles, but there's a boat that has 10 crocodiles on it. Okay, has 10 crocodiles on it. 3 jump off. How many left? I just heard this yesterday. So you have 10 crocodiles on a boat. 3 get off. How many left? I'm going to see who can get this one. How many left? Oh, the chat is going quiet. Y'all better not be, I swear to God, y'all better not be Googling this. 10 crocodiles are on a boat. Nope, Miss Jenkins got it wrong. Nope. 10 crocodiles. Nope. 10 crocodiles are on a boat. 3 get off. How many left? Michelle got it. Michelle got it. Hey, exclusive. Hey, beautiful. Michelle got it. Says how many? Okay, so does everybody get that? So it says 10 crocodiles are on a boat. 3 get off. How many left? Which means how many left? How many, a lot of people won't get that one wrong. But anyway, I just heard that one yesterday. So y'all, sometimes it's all about paying attention to wording. Just paying attention to wording. So, but anyway, y'all, all right. So y'all, let's get into this story. Now, everybody has heard about how do you say her name? I don't want to mispronounce her name. Kimani Latigue. Everybody has heard about that story. Now, let me say this about this story about Kimani Latigue. Y'all, this is one of many stories where it seems like around 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds are being targeted in these type of situations. Now, here's my thing. If y'all know that this story and what's the other young lady name that they just did a big story about, and that the guy is in trial right now? Yes, Miss Didi, they jumped. They just did a story about, what was it? Or Naziah Harris. Now, if y'all notice the similarities about Naziah Harris and notice the similarities in those two stories, both of them were in the care of their grandmother. Their mother is somewhere in the picture. You just don't know where she at. And they go missing by the hands of their stepfather, or allegedly their stepfather, because they're saying that Keimani, the guy, was not her biological father, but they don't know that. But either way, if he was messing with the mother, then you would call him a stepfather. So it's kind of the same similarities. Some of a father figure, a father or a stepfather. So if you, notice all the similarities into this. Now, you guys, I don't know if you hear in South Carolina, they just had another girl. She was 16 years old and she was left abandoned in a house. And this is a neighborhood, like 2 neighborhoods up from me. They found a 16-year-old girl in there, deceased. She was beaten to death. So y'all, this is like an ongoing situation. And I'm surprised people are not bringing more awareness to it. I understand that the drama is great. I understand that everybody wants to get into all of that, but I just feel like, why isn't more attention given to where it's needed? Because it's not going to hit you until it hits your backyard. Your neighbor's child go missing, your niece or something, or somebody that you know or you are privy of, their child goes missing, and that's when you start to take some type of, hey, Nahimi, what's going on, beautiful? That's when you start to take some type of interest in the story, is when it happens close to home. And I just don't think it should be like that. Y'all have a passion for, being an advocate for children and speaking out and being able to have a voice. I've always been that way about kids. That's why I never speak on children. And we'll get into that a little bit later, y'all. In no shape, fashion, or form. I don't care if I dislike you. I dislike how you move, just how you look. I'm not talking about your kids because I have kids of my own. And I don't want nobody, and everybody know kids are a trigger for parents, adults. Kids are a trigger. Parents are a trigger. Those are triggers for people. And just because I put my kids here, or I decide to feel like I'm in a safe space to bring my kids and say, hey, here's my child's birthday, or hey, here's a milestone, and here's my child graduated. That does not have a big sign on the thing saying, hey, attack my children because you don't like me. It means that's why these celebrities are choosing not to put their children on social media or bring them, because they know how cruel people can be. And it's sad that people have decided they want to participate in that type of crowd. and they want to be known as people of peace, people who want to bring awareness, but yet you stand in the crowd with people that attack. So, but I'm gonna get into that. Hey, Amora, what's going on, beautiful? But they want to place themselves in the same category as the people who they claim brings awareness to something positive. But you want to be a part of that. But anyway, so let me get into this story, y'all. Hey, Dior. So let's get into this story. Now I'm going to get into the whole situation regarding speaking on children, and in the same sentence, you're supposed to be bringing awareness and about a young lady or whatever, which doesn't correlate. I'm going to get into that in a few minutes. But first, I want us to catch up with this story. Now, when I go research a story, you guys, I just don't go to the first person who's talked about it, because a lot of people put out misinformation. And being a good content creator, whether you're a blogger, whatever, if you're putting out stories, you want to make sure that you go to a reliable source who is putting out accurate information. Or if you're not sure, making sure you throw that word allegedly out there. So, and then how I verify is I go to the news story and see how the information matches up. Well, there is one content creator on here that he reports a lot on the news, and I'm gonna give him a shout out because I'm getting ready to play his video. He does a very good job of covering stories because he does a lot of research, and in his research he does include news clips, which is why I like him. Which is why I feel like he's reliable when it comes down to these stories. Everybody gonna put their own spin on it, y'all. Y'all know that, just to off topic a little bit, they put this whole spin that D'Angelo spoke at Angie, what's her name? Angie Stone funeral, and he did not. But this whole, I don't know, she's an influencer, I don't know what she is, but she put out an entire video about D'Angelo speaking, and he never spoke at the funeral. He hasn't even come out and said anything. So there's a lot of people on here, you guys, that are not reliable, and it's crazy. Hey, Nikki, and it's crazy. So just be careful about who your sources are when you listen to certain content creators. But just to give you ideas of what I go through a lot of them before I decide, okay, yeah, let me use this one. But anyway, this particular guy, he talks a lot about this story, and I'm only going to share a little bit of his. Share. Oh, you guys, I'm pulling them up. And if my stuff acts up, y'all, because y'all know StreamYard be tripping sometimes. So, hold on. So before I start, this particular content creator, his name is he goes by The Family. So if you guys are not subscribed to him, go look at his page. He does a lot of good content, and he's pretty much on point with his commentary. He's pretty much on point with his information. But he touched a lot on this, and he put some key points in here that I think a lot of us don't know about the story. So if you are behind and you don't know the details, here's a little bit of information about this story.
Nonetheless, we go over this story. We pay our respects to this young victim, and we see who allegedly held responsible to her ultimately losing her life at such an early age. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Fam, meet Kimani Latigue, a 13-year-old teenager from Toledo, Ohio. It seems she's raised by her grandmother, a woman who go by the name Dorothy Latigue. Born October 16, 1974, Miss Dorothy got a number of arrests. Her last arrest dating back in 2019, back in September, where the defendant was ordered to provide her information that she was the subject of an investigation involving gunshots being fired. The defendant refused to provide information several times to the sergeant and was placed into custody. And on May 12, 2015, she was charged with aggravated burglary. Apparently, the defendant, Clinton was hit in the back of the head and in the face several times, causing several knots and bruises. Clinton is the source of information. This incident happened on the 2000 block of LaGrange in Toledo. Now, this is where I want you guys to pay attention, fam, because now we're about to talk about Dorothy's daughter, who happens to be her granddaughter's mom. Her name is Tierra Cashton, and I found out how Dorothy have custody of Tierra's daughter. It was an incident that took place in 2012 where Tierra got arrested when her daughter was only weeks. Back on December 17th.
Okay, y'all, let me pause it right there for a second. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but do you notice that there are a pattern where the daughter is at, and this time the daughter showed up at the scene when they had discovered the young lady's body at the house. They had discovered her body at the house. And y'all going, I don't know if you know how they found out, or I don't know if you've been wondering what made them go to that house. Well, we're going to get into that because that information came out too. But to me, the correlation between her and Naziah Harris, where both the mothers were having issues, so they put them in the hands of the grandmother. And it seems like the kids have some sort of problem with the mother. They either have criminal backgrounds or they have some sort of background to where they probably shouldn't even have any kids. But that was Tierra. She was there at the scene with the grandmother. You see, they wasn't even talking, but Tierra was yelling at her mom, and you're gonna see that. But she was charged with robbery back in 2012. That is the daughter. So let's continue.
In 2012, Tierra was with 3 to 4 males who jumped the victim, beating them on the head. As this was happening, Tierra was stealing the victim's credit card out of his pockets. This was seen by a neutral third-party witness who was working in the area. Charged with robbery, she had a $50,000 bond with no percent. She had a public defender. She ended up taking a plea. And ever since that day, Tierra's mom had custody of her daughter. So now we know about Tierra. Let's talk about Keimani dad, Tierra's daughter father, a man who go by the name of Darnell Jones. Darnell have an extensive criminal rap sheet as well. Born June 17, 1991, Darnell Jones was arrested on August 30th, 2022. Darnell had knowingly possessed a Taurus 9, but he was a convicted felon. According to authorities, he fired the pistol at 715 Main Street. He was found lying in the parking lot of a daycare with the firearm still in his hand. The spent casing was found next to the defendant. He was either drunk or high, or both. He also got arrested again on July 29, 2019, where he physically assaulted his wife, who was pregnant at the time. This incident happened on the 400 block of 4th Street in Toledo, Ohio, where Darnell Jones did knowingly cause physical harm to his wife, grabbing her around the neck and holding her over the second-story balcony. And according to his arrest papers, his wife had physical marks on her neck as well. So fam, at this point, we're a little more than 5 minutes into the video. And we didn't talk about all their criminal history, but we got a pretty idea on Keimani's dad, mom, and grandmother's criminal history. So we know out the gate, Keimani's had a challenge having stability in her home. And so we stay on track. The reason we said all that is because less than 24 hours ago of me making this video, authorities found the body of the missing 13-year-old Toledo girl, Kimani Latigue, on Monday. And her father, who was initially charged with abduction, is now charged with murder. The Lucas County Coroner's Office confirmed that the body was found on the second floor of an abandoned house on Miami Street in Toledo. An autopsy is scheduled for Tuesday to determine how the girl died. But let's talk about how we got here. March 16th, 2025 was the last day in 2025.
All right, so y'all, let me stop it right there because he don't have this information. So I don't know if you guys know the condition that her body was found in, but I'm going to tell you because I think when he made this video, it had just came out, but they found her body in, hold on, you guys, I think so. Hey lady, hey Octavia, hey Patricia, hey Tamika, hey Miss Nell. Hey, child, is the coast clear? Y'all have some funny names. All right, so listen. So they found, I don't think at this time he had this information when he made this particular video. This was to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory. But when they found her body, they said that, well, what they call it was, incision, I believe, by the neck. I may be saying it wrong, but I believe to me that's just another name for strangulation. Don't get me wrong. I believe that's just another name for strangulation. They also said that she was severed and her hands were cut off. I mean, how do you cut off how old was she? 13? How do you cut off a 13-year-old's hands, and for what reason? For what? So they said her body was pretty bad. Her body was pretty dismembered. Well, I know the hands were cut off. I know that her neck was pretty much I'm gonna say in strangulation, but in their terms, they're gonna say incision. Um, which basically means that she was strangled to death. I don't know if it was by hands or maybe by an object, but they said it was really, really bad. I just don't understand what the point was in doing a 13-year-old child like that. What was the child doing that was just so horrible that you have to? And a question for me is, where did all this happen? This girl didn't scream, this girl didn't yell. I mean, where is all of this happening where nobody is hearing or nobody is seeing or nobody's recalling anything? That's almost the same with this as the Naziah Harris story. Like, it just seems like everybody's turning a blind eye, or they're closing their ears, or they're not hearing anything. That's my question. Like, nobody ain't seen nothing. Nobody ain't said nothing. But like I said, there is a break in the story from yesterday. So I'm gonna we're gonna look at a little bit more of this, and I'm gonna tell you what came out yesterday.
Was the last day that Kimani was heard, according to her grandmother Dorothy and her dad Darnell. And according to their statements, without saying it, Kimani get herself together for school, and she's expected to go to school at the age of 13 without making sure she had breakfast or even got there safe. And here's how we know. Because according to the grandmother, she last heard from her granddaughter that Sunday night after 10 p.m. Her grandmother said she came from work and the door was unlocked. And at that point, we knew Kimani was staying home alone at 13. She quoted, "It was Monday morning when I came home. She wasn't here. Of course, she was supposed to be on her way to school. But according to the way the house was set up once I got here, because it was in complete disarray, she wasn't here. So I called the school so I can talk to her. They said that she wasn't there, saying she saw her night clothes and pajamas in different spots."
Okay, so let me stop it there, because y'all know new information, conflicting information with that one. All right, so she says that she found her granddaughter the next morning. That was Monday. That Monday was the 17th, you guys. She wasn't reported missing until the 18th. That's almost similar to Naziah Harris' story again. The grandmother said that Naziah did not come home after school, and they asked her, well, do you want me to report? Do you want to go to the police station? She said no and didn't report the girl missing until the next day. So do y'all see the similarities? Like, why would she wait? Why are these people waiting? These children are 13. So why are you waiting hours and hours and days later, a day later, to report these kids missing? Because maybe if you get ahead of it, and maybe not, I don't know, you might can do something to prevent something. So if you notice, both girls were not reported. They were not immediately reported. They weren't reported until the next day. Now, I would think a 13-year-old, if they're not home at night, you need to report that. I know the police said don't report to 24 hours later, but you're talking about a 13-year-old child who is not home at night. That needs to be reported immediately. So both grandmothers did the same exact thing. But, their reasoning is crazy. Now, I was trying to find the clip of the teacher. Now, the grandmother said that her granddaughter went to school that Monday morning, which was the 17th. A teacher came out and said she was in school on Monday. So I'm going to find that clip if I can, y'all, and I'll post it as a short. But there is a clip where a teacher at her school said that she was in school Monday. Now, the grandmother said that she hadn't seen her since. She seen her first. She said she's seen her Sunday night, and then Monday. Did y'all hear that, or did I mishear that? Did y'all hear something different? Because it's conflicting times of when she said the last time she seen this little girl. But the teacher came out, did an interview, and said that little girl was in school on Monday, but she didn't get reported missing until Tuesday. So it's a lot of conflicting stories. And also there is another story that came out, not another story, but another piece of information saying that the stepfather, father, whatever you want to call him, had her since March 15th. March 15th was that Saturday before. So y'all see all this conflicting information. Hey, Nug, what's going on? You see all this conflicting information. Hey, Fruity Pebble, what's going on, beautiful? All this conflicting information. Like the 15th, and the 15th he went, that's when she went with him. 17th, the teacher said she was in school. The grandmother said, no, that's, I seen her Sunday night. She wasn't there Monday. They said she was in school Monday. So you wait till Tuesday to report her. Okay. When she didn't come home from school Monday, what did you think? Anyway, y'all, am I asking too many questions? I'm just saying it's just too much going on. And these 13 and 14-year-old girls are just somehow being targeted and easily going missing, and they're not even living past 18, not even 15, really.
In the house, but standing right next to her as she's told the news that was the dad, Darnell, trying his best to keep a cool face. He said that Kimani had texted him to come over because she was afraid of being home alone. He said he came over with his cousin CJ and waited there for a couple of hours before leaving just before midnight. That was his statement. And it's more than 48 hours since Keimani was allegedly last seen. Check out the news clip.
Family is asking for help to help find a 13-year-old who's been missing now for more than 2 days. Her name is Kimani Latigue, and Alexis Means spoke with her family members today. Alexis, what are they telling you?
Well, Sasha, the Toledo Police Department, they went out and they talked to the grandmother today. The grandmother says the teen has never run away. She did not show up for school on Monday, and when you call her cell phone, it goes straight to voicemail.
I just want her to come home safely. I mean, she's not in trouble. She hasn't been in trouble.
This is a picture of Spring Elementary student Kimani Latigue. The teen has not been seen since Sunday evening after 10 p.m. Her grandmother says she came home from work and the door was unlocked.
It was Monday morning.
Okay.
And when I came home, she wasn't here. Of course, she was supposed to have been on her way to school, but according to the way that the house was set up, once I got here, because it was in complete disarray, she wasn't here. So I called the school so that I can talk to her, and they said that she wasn't there.
She says Kimani's key.
Now, I really have to find that clip, y'all, because her teacher said that she don't know what her grandmother's talking about because the little girl was in school on Monday. Now, if I'm misquoting, anybody can correct me, but they said the little girl was in school on Monday. So I don't know about the clip, but let me tell y'all something else I discovered. I think I have the text messages. I actually do have the text messages. So did y'all hear during the time that she's doing this news reporting, the grandmother, y'all, she put out text messages. And I'm going to tell you, you can tell this woman is not privy on how to do text messages at all, because she put out some fake text messages, which put red flags back on her. So let me see. I think I did screenshot them. I want to show them to y'all because this is like weird. Or did I get them? Okay, when I find them, y'all. Okay, so y'all know how when you have one person talking to another person, it's going to appear on either side. You're going to be on the left. The other person you're talking to is going to be on the right, and it's going to be in a different color, right? So you know when the person responding to you is going to be on the right. Well, she put out a text message where it's like she's literally talking to herself because all the text messages are on the left. And she's trying to say she's talking to somebody saying that they kidnapped the little girl and they want ransom money. Did y'all hear about that? Yeah, the hell of I know. Did y'all hear about that? You know what? I swear I'm gonna find those text messages. All right, y'all, I'm gonna find those text messages. Hold on.
These were at the house along with her glasses. Her grandmother says the 13-year-old can't see without them. She also told me the stove was on and you could smell gas.
Other than her and I, it's just the two dogs in the house. So who cut it on? So that was kind of suspicious. Then her glasses and her underclothes were by the couch in the front room. Her pajamas were in the dining room and the floor.
Her family handed out flyers telling people if they see her to call police. The teen's grandmother says she's not the type of kid to run off.
She always calls me and asks me prior to going somewhere, can she go? She's a latchkey kid, so she has her own keys for the home. She has a phone just in case anything happens. She can contact somebody. She's very responsible.
Keimani's father says he saw his daughter late Sunday night after she called him afraid to be home alone.
I came over here because she said that if it seemed like somebody was trying to break into the house. So I sat for an hour, me and my cousin, we sat over here and we left around like 12:30-ish.
The girl went missing from Elm and Bronson. Toledo police are investigating.
They came inside, they looked around, the officer requested to see her room, how it was set up and all of that. And she went through some of her things, but they didn't take anything.
And Toledo police say that if you know the whereabouts of this young little girl, to call Crime Stoppers. Sasham, back to you.
But then shortly after that news clip, authorities wanted to talk to Darnell again. And then suddenly he vanished. But then on March 24th, 2025, a little after 3 p.m., Keimani's mother, Tiara, said she hadn't been told anything about her daughter. But on social media, the local authorities, they had gathered around an abandoned home on Miami Street. And meeting them was the grandmother, Dorothy. Check out clips from this Facebook Live as they wait and see was Keimani coming out their house.
This is the mama right here. They will not even let her see the baby. But they on the news saying it's her. When my kids' friends. Toledo weird. We on Miami and what is this? I can't even see the street tip. Miami by the water. Woodmont. I'm trying to see what the this the mama. Don't come over here by me, Mr. Nosy Toledo.
No, that's crazy as fuck.
Did that to your own grandbaby.
Own grandbaby.
Nigga, you told me I was supposed to be aborted and that you gave me life anyway. So I wanted to do something for you. I let you see your first grandchild come into this world, nigga. And this is what you do to her?
Joe, why ain't the granny crying right? My bad, Joe. I didn't mean it. I was trying to. Just press live. Don't even say shit. Just press it. Okay. Right on the. Why is it right there? Turn my Wi-Fi off. Turn my. You could turn that. Yeah. Why do y'all want Edishi's body to be shown? That shit traumatizing. First of all, we don't, but we want to know if it's. Shut up, cause we're not even gonna read that. Let me turn this off. Let me turn the comments off. Okay, mama.
All right, let me warn y'all in this clip right here. Hey TC. That was her mother, which y'all seen fussing, but let me warn y'all, if you have not seen this, they are going to bring the little girl out. If you have not seen this clip. So they're going to bring her out. They're not going to show her completely, but you will see her being brought out the house. I just wanted to warn y'all that. So
She's like, y'all insane. I'm not in the mood.
I keep trying to hit these Tito's that ain't.
Like, where is that? Where's that?
They right there. Yeah, me too. Yep, look at them, y'all. I'm showing everybody face. Let me show y'all all these. Oh, I ain't even gonna get on the police because I swear to God, I want to get on them so bad, y'all. Hold on. I'm showing all them ugly. Oh, they only what? They got all these ugly.
Y'all better go grab that mom.
Oh my God.
You guys,
Here she is. Here she is, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
y'all poor baby.
Y'all feel her.
Hey, why they ain't locked her ass up? She part of that shit too. Your own grandbaby.
Okay, so that's the grandmother that y'all see standing there, just kind of dumbfounded. I don't know if that was just her. You can't tell people how to react to something. So I'm not going to jump the gun and say, she's just kind of looking crazy, but just the actions that led up to that point just brings her, just suspicious altogether. But that was her mom screaming and yelling. Now, here's the thing. They said or claim that the kid's father, Keimani, yeah, I got all these names mixed up, but her alleged biological father on March 15th, when he picked her up, he brought her to the mother's house, her biological mother's house. Okay, here's the crazy part about it. Her best friend, the mother's best friend, said that was very unusual, that girl never goes to her mother's house. Never. That was the first time that they seen that little girl at her biological mother's house. First time. So they said that was out of whack. Now, her best friend just came out and said that. So, like I said, it's a lot of missing parts. I think this is going to end up being another Naziah Harris story. But when this particular live was done, when he did this particular video at that time, the father was still running around, still on, the loose or whatever. They said the grandmother was arrested, but she was not arrested. The reason why they took the grandmother in was because threats were being made toward her life. Because, as you can see in there, they are really pissed at her. And just because she's standing there, she's showing no type of emotion. I guess, they just want to just go at her. So police came and got her from the house. And she said she asked them to arrest her coming out the house. Now, she said that, allegedly. I don't know how true that is, but then they turned around. Y'all, I want you guys to see this text message, and I do have them. I just got to figure out a way to put them on this screen. I want you guys to see this text message because this text message is just kind of stupid. Hey, Tisha. Hey, Miss Andrew. Hey, Des. What's going on, beautiful? Y'all, these text messages are just diabolical to me. Y'all know how StreamYard is. The minute you try something, this thing go to acting crazy. So let me try one more thing. I'm gonna let y'all finish. I'm gonna try one more thing to get it up on the screen because I do want y'all to see these text messages because these text messages is dumb. Well.
That's your grandbaby, though, right? She got and confronted with me on the phone before she even got her roof in here. No tears. That shit crazy. She needs to go down. They showing them right now in Chicago, bro. I've been on her days behind the why would she even giving a statement right now, bro? Because she knows her.
So eventually, the grandmother was apprehended. That might have been for the safety to get her out of that scene. We don't know if she was charged yet. But someone had wrote this. My mom lived right there. Literally, that corner house where everybody was standing is the house that I grew up in. The detectives came to her door asking if she had a camera. My mom identified the dad's vehicle. He put her there at 10 o'clock this morning. I'm so heartbroken from my understanding. They also have Dorothy on video scattering. The baby's clothes, and excuse her grammar, I'm not sure myself. I'm assuming saying throwing the baby's clothes in the Veer Park. But the last sentence mentioned, the grandmother is allegedly the one who called that the baby was in the house.
My daughter, there's no reason my daughter would ever be over here.
Today make a week, she's been gone. And this is not right. We just want to get her home. Praying for the best, but of course, always prepare for the worst.
That was a family of 13-year-old Kimani Latigue. She's been missing for several days now. Earlier today, Toledo police discovered a body inside of a home in Miami Street in East Toledo. Police have yet to confirm it was her body, but according to the girl's grandmother, Kimani Latigue's body was found. Jeff?
As we continue to track this story throughout the day, WTOL 11 has also learned that the father of Keimani has been charged. His name is Darnell Jones. An arrest warrant has been issued for his arrest. Tonight, we have got live.
All right, so you guys, they did issue an arrest warrant. I don't even know what led to them thinking that he did it in the first place, but they end up picking him up yesterday. Now, you guys, the crazy part about them picking him up yesterday, the person that helped them find him was his own girlfriend. So I have a clip of that. So all right, let me let you guys see this one, because she was the one that came out and she told police where he was, but she also gave them some more information that was very interesting. Now, this was just yesterday, y'all.
Latigue murder investigation. Toledo police executing several search warrants, including where the suspect, Darnell Jones, Keimani's father, lived on the east side. 13 Action News learning it was Jones' girlfriend who helped police with key evidence in the case. The woman who asked that we not show her face, telling Action News Jones called her last Friday and wanted her to turn off the cameras at the home. She got suspicious and didn't turn off those cameras. She says she was in the bathroom when a relative saw Jones move some things out of his SUV, brought them into the house, and hid them under the basement stairs. She called police, who got a search warrant and took the evidence.
What did he hide under your stairs?
It was like a mat for the back of your truck, not a pickup, but SUV. You know, when you lay your seats down and you put that rubber mat in there to protect the back of your seats in case you're hauling something. That's what he rolled up and put in my basement. And his work boots, which were caked with mud, and he hadn't worked in a while.
And she tells us once Jones noticed the items were gone, she never saw him again, but that he did call her from Columbus. And that's when she told police where to find him.
Okay, so they apprehended him yesterday in Columbus, Georgia. And y'all, this man had done cut off all of his, hold on. Sorry, y'all, my screen is acting up. This man had done cut off all of his hair. He cut off all of his hair. He didn't have any hair, cut off all his dreads. So, okay, so I think I got the text messages up. So let me see. I thought, oh yeah. Okay.
The baby's clothes, and excuse her grammar, I'm not sure myself. I'm assuming saying throwing the baby clothes in the Bear Park. But the last sentence mentioned, the grandmother is allegedly the one who called that the baby was in the house.
My daughter, there's no reason my daughter would ever be over here. Today make a week, she's been gone.
Scatter the baby's clothes, and excuse her grammar, I'm not sure myself. I'm assuming saying throwing the baby clothes in the Bear Park. But the last sentence mentioned.
So y'all, if you look, I mean,
Scatter the baby's clothes, and excuse her grammar, I'm not sure myself. I'm assuming saying throwing.
whenever you get a chance,
Scatter the baby's clothes, and excuse her grammar, I'm not sure myself. I'm assuming saying throwing the baby clothes in the Bear Park. But the last sentence mentioned, the grandmother is allegedly the one who called that the baby was in the house.
My daughter, there's no reason my daughter would ever be over here. Today make a week, she's been gone.
of the whole conversation, but let me tell you what the text messages said, because y'all, I got to do better with the whole, so she said, this is what she said, that the people said that text her. They said, I'm here. This is about business. If you respect my amount, I will return it to you right now. And the grandmother said, she said, what? And the person said, that's right. Here I am asking for the amount of $4,000. That's the business you can have with me. So tell me if you are interested in reaching an agreement with me, or I will take her to the border. She said, send me a picture of her unharmed. She said, you have my, and the other person allegedly said, you have my amount so we can fix it. Okay, blah, blah, blah. These are the text messages that the grandmother put out, but how she put them out was just, what? It looked like she's literally talking to herself. So that, that alone makes her look kind of suspicious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that part. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why police are not looking at that. If she turned that in, or allegedly, if that really did come from her, why aren't police looking at that? Supposedly, $4,000 for a kid? That's it? Just $4,000? Not $40,000, not $4 million. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Benita. Not, but $4,000. $4,000. Send me a picture of her unharmed. It's literally under. So anyway, y'all, it's so many missing parts of this whole situation. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. The Naziah Harris story, I really have not been keeping up with that. I'm not going to lie, because it's too much. And the reason why I say it's too much is you got the aunt, you got the saying stuff, you got the cousin, you got this. Everybody got different stories, and you get so mixed up onto what is the truth and what is not the truth. Till you just, the whole family is crazy to me. You got the grandmother, you don't even report the girl missing, same as in this case. So basically, y'all, all these little girls are going missing and ending up deceased. Unfortunately, Naziah Harris' body has not been found, unless you guys know something different. Her body has not been found. Brown eyes, you right. They probably gather more information. She has something to do with it, because she doesn't even seem, but yeah, Michelle, and that's what the daughter's problem was. But you guys, listen, and if I'm wrong, you guys can tell me. Now, listen, you got all these mothers are having to turn. They got so much against their moms. They screaming at them and yelling at them, but your mom was the one that took your daughter because you couldn't take care of it. Your kid, you got other kids living with you, just like the other mom, Naziah Harris' mom, had other kids living with her kids, but you can't raise these children. And in the grandmother's care, whether it was direct or indirect, these kids are going missing because they are allowing these men around them in the house. So what kind of grandmothers are we talking about? So you got all of them coming, you got the older women, and y'all, the grandmother, she's only 51, 52. She looked older than that, but she's only like 51, 52 years old, from my understanding. But she looks a lot older than that. But girl, stress and mess with you. But I think, and let me tell you how I'm tying this story into what we are discussing on YouTube. Let me tell you how all this correlates together, okay? And this is where we kind of dive into speaking about Brianna influencers, content creators. Let me tell you how I tied all this in. We are spending so much time talking about, and I'm talking about only for the ones that are doing it, talking about a young lady on social media. We're talking about her. We're putting so much time on her love life, the decisions that she's made in her love life, the decisions that she's made with her children, the decisions that, she made, how she made. We are focused. Let me take that back. I'm not going to use that pronoun. People are so focused on that you're not even bringing awareness to the actual stuff that need to be brought awareness to. Stuff like this. But then when it happens, it's all of a sudden now you want to say, oh, that happened. Oh, that happened. But then you right back on the BS. And that's one thing that bothers me, y'all. That's me. All right. Yeah, I heard that, Brown eyes. Allegedly, the mother came out and said that the guy that took her was not her biological father, but it's alleged. They don't know. They don't really know. So I guess we'll find out from him. And Michigan says, and the fact that the baby had been switched to several schools because the teachers were reporting to CPS about bruising. Oh, really? Now, see, I didn't know that, Miss Jenkins. Now, is this for Keimani or is this for Naziah? Yeah, it just seems like there's so much a fail. Everybody says it takes a village to raise a kid. Where is a village when these kids go missing? These young girls, these 13, 14-year-old girls go missing. But we spend so much time talking about kids who are apparently are happy at home with their mom and there's no issues, but we want to call CPS on her. I don't get it. For the people that we need to pay attention to, oh, okay, Keimani, okay. The people that we need to be paying more attention to, which is the person right next door to us, those are the people that we need to be paying more attention to than what's on social media. Now, here's the thing. Y'all know my position was a couple months ago. The DV is over. We're going to kind of glide off that a little bit, okay? The DV is over. Allegedly, it's over. We're off that. Everybody has claimed the DV is over. That's over. We don't talk about no more. That's over. Blah, blah. Okay, good. It's over. For a lot of us, it is over. For a lot of us, it is over. We don't talk about that. But we said, it was always said over there, oh, you know, once the divorce happens, boom, boom, you know, we're going to go on about it. Everybody going about their business. You know, it's over. They separated, you know, RH is happy. Everybody talks about, you know, when it does, we're going to go on. I know for a fact, and I'm not just saying that, this is the truth. Amora did stop talking about it. But here's the difference. I feel like Amora reports on current stuff with him, not the DV. Current stuff. I feel like if you're going to talk about something, talk about current stuff. And the thing about that bothers me is when Brianna does decide to come and say, hey, boom, why are you talking about my kids? The first thing that she gets attacked is her past, or what she did here. Well, you remember when you said this about RH? Well, you remember what, girl, wasn't you the same one that said that he did this and you just lied? What are we talking about here? We're talking about if you feel that way, we're talking about our past. We're talking about something that happened 2 years ago, whether you believe it or not. Apparently, whether she's guilty or not guilty, she's trying to move on. She's trying to move on with her family. We won't let anybody live down something that we may feel they have done in the past that was wrong, because we can't attack their present. Because their present may be going well, we can't attack that. So we attack the past. We attack what happened last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And the thing about it is, y'all understand, just like content creators and influencers, it's just like reality TV. We only get a portion of a person's life. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure her whole life, or any other content creator, any other influencer, their whole life is not here on social media. So you don't get to see every decision that is made, every conversation that is had, every breakfast that is eaten, every bath that is taken, every phone call that is made. You don't see any of that. So how can you make such a big conclusion about somebody, what they're doing with their kids in their life, based off brief moments of what's going on social media, or what she chooses to put out on social media? How can you make such a big claim to knowing what a person does by the little bit they put out on social media? And I'm going to give it to Bray. Now, in the past, yes, she was always coming to social media, boom, 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 with everything. But now, whatever has transpired seems that she is trying to make a change and not bring everything to social media. She's wanting to live a more private life. Respect. I respect that. I respect that wholeheartedly. She's trying to move more in silence. And what she puts out on social media is what she want to put out on social media, what she want people to know. Now, let's talk about the definition of an influencer and a content creator. If you guys would look up those definitions and everybody's interpretation, whether it's Google, whether it's the dictionary, no matter what you use, content creation. If you are a social media person and you create content, does content always fact? Is content always fact? Or can you create content that is fiction? Can you create content that is fiction? Now, I heard out of our own content creator's mouth, RH, he specifically came to social media when everybody was trying to make or draw a big conclusion about what was going on in his life. Or he don't talk about his life. That's why they don't like them, because she's not putting out anything right exclusive, and they're pissed off because she won't show her baby's face. And here's what, let me finish. That's a good point, exclusive. The thing about that is, from RX, this is what I learned when back then, he specifically came. I remember he was on his Facebook Live and he came with social media and he said, everything that you see on social media, every content it ain't real. It doesn't mean that's my life. It doesn't mean that's what it is. It's content. Did he not say that out his own mouth? He said it is content. Content. So I say that to say, I don't know. I'm not Brianna. I'm not anybody. I'm not another influencer. But what I do, and my conclusion is everything that she put out, is it accurate? Does she mean for it to be accurate? Or is she just a content creator or an influencer that just bringing content so people can talk about it? And that's exactly what people are doing. They're talking about it. Whatever she's bringing to social media, whether it's fact, fiction, a lie, or the truth, she is doing what it was meant to do, bringing audience and getting people talking about it. That is the purpose of content creation. Am I not correct? Whether it's fact, fiction, lie, or the truth, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, bringing content to people, and people are looking at it. Correct? But she's not even doing anything on social media that's even blog worthy. She just enjoying her family and minding her business. That's right, Angela. That's correct. The only thing they blame is because Bree came out about her story. That the only thing I see and that is my point. That is my point. The only thing that we keep carrying on about is the DV story. Whatever side that you took on it, and y'all, this is just my opinion. Whatever side that you took on it, or whatever position that you took on it, we have deemed that as the past. It is gone. What if you have done something that you want to put behind you? You want to move on with your life, whether you were wrong, right, or indifferent. You can't move on when you constantly have people reminding you of what you have done. But I believe that she says she does not care if people talk about her. Now, she made that very clear, I think, in a post. She does not care if people talk about her. Her thing is her children. And they say, well, if you don't want your children talked about, why do you bring them on here? But my thing is, why shouldn't she feel safe enough to share her life? Y'all heard of family blogs where they have family people, they show their children, they show that. That's not an invitation to say talk crap about them. It's an invitation. Cardi B shows her kids. She covers them up until she's ready to bring them. But that's not an invitation for anybody to talk negative. You see what I'm saying? It's not and I'm gonna say the same for everybody. It's not an invitation to say, hey, talk about my children. But it's saying, I should feel safe enough to want to share my accolades, my milestones, if I so choose. And I should feel safe enough to do that. But because of what has happened in the past and the saga that has went on in the past, I guess she's not allowed to do that. And when she does, it's going to be talked about in a negative light. There's one who called them. And Angela, I'm glad you brought that up. Now, I myself seen weeks ago, at that time, y'all, I really wasn't, really not into it and still not into it. But I just wanted to give my opinion on it because it is a relevant subject. I remember a few weeks ago, I seen a live that he did. And he was the first person to come on social media and call those babies a certain name. He called them turtles. That's when it all started. And I actually seen a content creator actually said that that's where she got it from. It was a joke to her, but since then it has been deleted. Because I tried to go back and find it, and I could not, and it's been deleted or it's been cut out. It's been deleted or it's been cut out. And it was said that they got that name from him, RH. Now, let me tell you something. People might say, well, turtles, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Why, why is it? Hey, here's the thing. Would you want some? Oh, you got it exclusive? Okay. I was wondering if anybody got it because, you know, I don't hear anybody saying anything, but I did see it. I did see that. But here's the thing. These are newborn, innocent kids. She's not talking about her other kids. She's talking about just the newborns. And I think this is why Janelle said, hey, you know, what you do with your other kids, that's fine. That's between you and their father. But my children, I choose not to put on social media because, and if, you know, I would think, this is me thinking for him, y'all. This is not something he said, you know, I would think he don't want that because she's already under scrutiny. She's already being criticized. She's already under a microscope on YouTube. She's already, so he knows that anything that comes in connection with her is going to be probably criticized or under a microscope as well. So he knows that those babies are going to get probably, you know, criticized, probably called names. And guess what? That's what has happened. Now, just because you're just calling, oh, there's just we're just calling them turtles. Y'all, what mom? Think about it. Take her out of being a social media influencer for 1 second and think of her as a person. Think of her as a mother. Just think of her as a mother. Think about your children. I don't care how small it is. For, you know how much it would hurt a person to say, to call my child, you know, why are you calling an innocent baby? Why are you calling them names just because you don't like me or you dislike me? Why talk about the child, even if you want to call it a or whatever? It's not cute. It's not funny. And just because you may not think that it's diabolical or you may not think that it's hurtful, it is to that mother. It is to her. And just because you know, a lot of people try to downplay other people's feelings. They say, oh, girl, it ain't that serious. Oh, it ain't that serious. It ain't that serious to you. But it may be serious to her. And that's what you call narcissism, when you downplay somebody's feelings and try to make them feel less than because they have certain feelings about whatever they're feeling about. Does that make sense? Just like if I tell you, if I have a conversation with you and I tell you, hey, I'm feeling this type of way about this person, you downplay me and say, girl, it ain't that serious. Girl, you shouldn't be feeling that way. You're making a big deal out of nothing. That's you downplaying my feelings and dismissing my feelings. Just because you don't think it's serious, that don't mean I can't think it's serious. So I always try to take myself and put myself in somebody else's shoes and figure out how they're going to feel. She's a mom with 2 newborn babies. The last thing she wants to hear is somebody calling her babies a name. Just because she don't come on here and cry it all out, it may hurt behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes, somewhere along the line, we have to have some form of humanity. Some form of humanity. Think about your kids. Just think about that. I'm sorry. Let me read these comments, y'all. Y'all know I look away from the computer because I know I'll get distracted. Alicia says, calling her newborn innocent baby turtles is diabolical. God will deal with them for trying to hurt innocent babies. And my thing is, you can downplay it. You can downplay it all you want to. You can downplay it, but you know your heart. You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding, a lot of that has been deleted. Because I have seen titles, not all the content creators, just maybe 1 or 2. The titles have been changed or the titles have been deleted. If you did not feel that you were doing anything wrong or you said anything wrong, there's no way that you would delete anything. What is so messed up is a lot of people come out about their story that is messed up. They're going out against, y'all, when a lot of us come out. Right. Brown now says she hadn't even done many videos with the babies they mad because she didn't show their faces. And she made it very clear that it was not her decision not to show the children. It was Janelle's decision. She made that very clear. And I think he did too on several different lives that he did not want. It was his decision. They even went low enough to put faces on. Are you serious, Michelle? I didn't see that. It is serious. Those babies, brand new babies, and it's abusive. Robert started that crap and he know why he was doing it. Well, you know, one thing I have learned about, hey, Perfectly Imperfect, one thing I have learned from the saga, you guys, people do and say things indirectly, and they don't directly say it because they can always go back and say, well, I wasn't talking about them. But I mean, anybody with a diploma knows you're talking about them. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're indirectly. So even if you don't directly say it or directly say it in that way, you say it in a way that we know what you're talking. The audience knows who you're referring to and what you're talking about. And that's one thing I don't like about people. And my ex-husband used to do this, you guys. It's like, I know what you're talking about, but you're indirectly trying to say it. Say he's in a conversation, we're at a family reunion, he's in a conversation with one of his family members, and he'll be like, well, yeah, some people just get attitudes and ain't even call for about, just throwing little things out like that. Like, bro, I know you're talking about me. No, you didn't hear me say your name. Like, come on. Stop. You know what I'm saying? Just come on. The problem I have with this is they keep saying their kids matter too, but Brianna is not out here talking about their children. She's been quiet for a long time. That's another thing. They're like, hey, Lampo, what's going on, beautiful? That is another thing, Brown Eyes. It's almost like, and I could be wrong, allegedly, in my opinion, is hate there. It's almost like this girl did something to these people directly. Now, again, the saga is over. We're not even talking about the DV anymore. Everybody has their particular stance on that. I'm just talking about when you come to social media and you choose to keep on about a person, that's fine. They're adults. They can handle themselves. I'm talking about when you choose to attack minors, and whether you feel that attack is a minor attack or you feel like it's little, it's not little or minor to the mother or to the parent. They said we should be pissed because we supported her and can't even see the baby. What? Why would I care? Why would anybody care? It's not that serious. Everybody support Beyonce, but we ain't seen her son. So what? We ain't seen her son, and she wants to hide him for good reason. That's her business. I don't get it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just one of them old school people that I just can't put two and two together. I'm sorry. She moved on. She started her life and extended her family with someone else. Her away from Robert. They got exactly what they want. What's the problem now? And that's what I said, because that's all I heard. Once she divorced, we can move on to other content. We have to worry about her. So I guess my question is, what's the end game? You don't like her because of what you feel or what you feel was done to Robert. You don't like that. Okay, I get it. You don't agree. So, okay, so she's moved on. And they said, okay, well, she's moved on with somebody who's cheater. He's a cheater. Okay, but that's her problem. That's what if she's choosing to deal with that, that's on her. That's on her. You're finding these things. She's not putting them on social media anymore. You're finding them. You're looking for them. So this is not stuff she's putting on social media. I've heard people say, I'm only reporting what she put on social media. That cheating stuff was not put on social media by her. But Robert is the one that can't let go, and he could put a stop to a lot of this stuff. That's, girl, not going to happen. But he said he's not attached to drama. They wrong on so many levels, and the fact they still doing it and have called them dogs and all kind of stuff. Somebody going to be made an example of. So Bree said enough is enough. Hey, Marissa. Hey, Janice. Oh, he was not and still is not supposed to speak on her subliminally neither. Well, that's another thing. Hey, if you know what your paperwork say and you choose to still go against the grain, have at it, have fun. But when we do stupid things or we play stupid games, we get stupid prizes. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is at that point. Lampo says, you're absolutely correct, Sean. If there was no ill intentions, the titles and thumbnails wouldn't have been changed. But best believe Bree got all the screenshots there. And I do believe them because Bree supporters are gonna make sure she get what she needed at all times. So that's good. You're exactly right, Lampo. I just don't understand. Exclusives, Smush knows swears you're Bree. I see these folks are exclusive is nowhere near to be Bree. Some of these women are very abusive to be attacking innocent kids. Right, Alicia. Robert innocent, and he knows this. He used them tied his. Yes, I have to agree with that. Throw rocks and hide your hands. Throw rocks and hide your hands. But I'm gonna say this he's a big subliminal person, huge subliminal, and very indirect. He's very subliminal and very indirect. Y'all pay attention. Very indirect, very subliminal. Very. And he put things out to make you think is in relation to her or something that she's doing when it's really not. It's to throw people off. You just got to pay attention to the play. Brown Eye says, I don't want her to show them. The internet is too hateful. At this point, I don't think they're going to show them. It looked like there is no end game. They will be stalking her very, hey, Miss Judy, thank you for coming in. They will be stalking her every move from now until they get tired of themselves. Exactly. Marissa, I just trying to figure out what is the end game. Unfortunately, it's social media. They have been talking about Blue Ivy since the day she was born. And at the age of 11, millions still speak ill on her, and now her brother as well. And that's so sad. It's so sad. Hey, Rita, it's the people who can't stand on their true beliefs. Flipping the narrative or making it about them is diabolical. Exactly. I listened to Ashley D's live yesterday, and that first part of her live where she put up, I believe she had a recording. I don't know what that was. That might have been a reel, but that reel was really good. It was really, really good. And it shows how things get flipped. And that proves how sometimes you guys, that's where your self-control comes in at. You got to see the play, and you got to be able to make good decisions. You got to be able to just overlook it like it's not there, because these are things that get your attention, get you off track, get you mad, get you upset. And if you fall for it, we all human, but it's always some sort of abuse. It's always some sort of abuse. Y'all might be getting behind in the comments. If she did anything to Ari, she did it to him, not them. Exactly. Good point. Irrelevant people are now saying their kids matter while sitting and smiling on panels with same people. Y'all, listen. I'm telling you what I seen from the post. I believe it was a post, or it was a live that she did. I don't know what it was. She might have did a video, but my recall, she said that kids are off limits. She didn't say her kids. She said kids are off limits. That's what I heard her say. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Angela said, I don't care what nobody say. It's still wrong that they even blog on Bree every day, all day, discussing things they say that's not blogging. That's bullying, harassment every day. It is, Angela. But you know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to say to this. We all know the game on social media. When you come on social media, you open yourself up for criticism. You open yourself up for, people to talk good about you, bad about you. Either way, we open ourselves up. So we know the rules of the game before we come in it. But to me, when it gets to the point where it's just year after year, you're only blogging or talking about one person and you can't find one good thing to say about them, then that's, to me, it's some form of hate, some form of dislike, because you can't sit here and say when you see her on social media that everything she does is negative. Everything. She barely does anything from what the little bit I see. She's talking about her twin. She's doing reels. She don't really talk about her and Jonelle like that. She'll post some reels every now and then. Jonelle, we all know he mute mouth. He will not talk, honey. He will not respond to anything. So hopefully she following in his lead. Whatever they going through, that's their business. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, you got so many other people out here that could use this type of attention, bring an awareness to this type of attention, and maybe it would help kind of solve some of these other situations. Talk about that grandmother. Bring attention. How about dissect that lady life? What is her? Y'all, I am bad at names. Y'all know what I'm saying. Them two young girls, dissect their grandmother life, dissect their mother life, and see why in the world that these kids are doing, like, dissect them the way you dissect Bree. Because honestly, no, nothing against Bree, but Bree don't have anything interesting enough for me to want to come live and talk about her every day. She don't have that much content. She don't talk about her stuff. Is about her family stuff, what she's going, her everyday life, her accomplishment, whether it's fact or fiction. That's her. I'm not going to sit here and try to research and figure out if it's true or not. It's a billion people in this world that have more interesting lives than Brianna. That's just the truth. Don't you agree that it's wrong how people have blogged about ours every day too? Where is that? All right. Okay. So Miss Dickerson, what I'm going to say to that is, how many people do you see at this present day in time blogging about Robert? Now be truthful with that question. How many people to this day do you see that blog about him on a blog, make him their daily content? How many people? That's all they talk about. They have no other content but Robert. Name a name. Now, I only know of one, but she has already acknowledged that Robert is her content. She's acknowledged that. She ain't denying it. She ain't hiding it. Who else talk about him every single day? Their live, their videos, they call out everything he do, every move he make, besides one person. Who else? Name them, Angela. And you're saying three, but name them. Who? I'm just curious. Now I know of one, and Jeannie's already said that's what she does. But who are the other two? Got to be hate when the people in the comment B says he's on site. Girl, I spoke yesterday. Finally, he did. I'm gonna have to catch that. Me. They follow everything on job page, on her page, on anybody page. I don't see how they keep up. That's too much time, honey. Listen, that's the people. That's like the people in prison. That's all they got is time. They could probably tell you everything. I don't see who has that much time. I mean, you can literally break down everything, every move, every smile, everything. Now, I understand blogging on somebody and giving content on them, but Jesus, when you can't make content, you tend to reflect back to the past. What happened 2 years ago? What happened a year ago? What happened this? What happened that? I don't understand. So they trying to compare talking about RH to talking about Bree kids. Okay, God. Jeannie blogs about RH, but nothing about the saga. She has a personal contact. She has, that's right, me, exactly. And she said that last night. She said that. So we can't even go against that. Jeannie said out her own mouth, she makes Robert her content. So we can't deny that. But who are the other two people? Because I'm going to tell you, nobody talks about him as far as well, I tell you what, I can tell you who the other person is that talks about Robert. Robert talks about Robert, and Jeannie talks about Robert. Who's the other person? I will always be fair, if you can give me names. Who else talks about him? She can't name three because no truth in that. Brown Eyes, a moral only blogs on RH recent antics. Exactly. Now, it is a difference when you blog about a recent event. If something has happened, I don't think she reflects on anything that has to do with the DV. I think she's kind of past that. I think a lot of people are past that or want to be past that. Hey, Miss Bailey. Hey, beautiful. I think she's past that. I think she blogs. If something comes up and it's interesting, she'll blog about it. I think that's what we all do. If it's interesting enough, we'll come and we'll blog about it. We'll give our opinion about it. We'll give commentary on it. But I don't think we spend 40 days and 40 nights or 60 days and 60 nights on it. I just don't think we do. So I just said name three people. I named two. And that would be RH and that would be Jeannie. Our supporters don't even support him. They don't watch his content, buy his products or his music because they're too busy supporting Bree and her family. And you know what? One thing about it, y'all, negative content, positive content can all bring light to a person. And you bring in supporters to her page because every time you say something bad about her, you're bringing traction to her page. But you're not bringing traction to RH's page because you're not talking about him. Now, I hate to be, say this, but it was one live that he did. I think he did that live for maybe 3 hours. He didn't get any super chats, any super stickers, nothing. And I'm just like, okay. The women blogging about Bree's kids are disgusting. On Jessica, ain't nobody saying they can't talk about Bree, but why bring her kids in? Exactly, Jessica. Exactly. I don't think we care. You can talk about Bree till you blue in the face because she's already said that. She wants to talk about Bree. I don't understand it, but hey, if that's what you so choose, talk about Bree, talk about Robert, talk about John, talk about them all day. They're adults. They know they can handle themselves. So talk about them all day. But why even say anything in reference to the minor children? They haven't done anything. They didn't ask to come here. I don't understand. It's almost like a hate thing. You know, just because you don't support somebody, you don't like their actions of what they did in the past, you're making it a personal thing. And you can say it's not personal, but if you go back and you listen to your content, you will see it almost like it's personal. Like I have something personal. Like I ain't gonna lie. When Amora was doing content on Robert, I thought it was personal because she was really going in every day. And I could hear the passion behind it. I could hear the emotion behind it. And she did say for her, it did get that way, which is why she had to back all the way out because she realized she was getting too personally invested. So, and imagine how it looks to the people on the outside. Now, if we as the outside can say, hey, you look too personally invested. You don't think it looked that way with the people that's reporting about Bree? Bree, you look too invested personally. It's not business. It's personal. Angela. Okay. All right, Angela. My Cash App is right there under my avatar. So that's how I'm doing it now. You guys, give me about 2 weeks. What is that? Give me about 2 weeks and then they'll be back up. They'll be back up. So that's how, if you guys want to, I don't stress it. As long as you guys please hit the like button so my channel will stay in the algorithm. But you are welcome. My Cash App is $ just being Sean is right there, and also have my coffee is buy me a coffee / Miss Sean. Sorry. Okay, Angela, I'm going back up to your comment. I'm sorry. What did Angela? I hope she takes their advice. Angela says, okay. I'm going back up. Okay, here she said, I asked my uncles, they are judges, and I let them listen to the things going on in their pages. And they said she do have a case, and I let Bree talk to one of them, and they advise her what to do. Well, there you go. It just proves she does have support. And I believe, she's getting whatever advice that she needs. She has supporters that are giving that to her, whatever she does in the background. It is best. I know what I say about the other day when I did my live last week and I say crash out. Sometimes we have crash outs. We get upset, we get mad, we let our emotions take over, and sometimes we have crash out. So if you want to call what Bree did a little bit of, it wasn't a big crash out. I think she just got really ticked about people talking about her kids, because prior to that, she wasn't saying anything. You got to give her that. She wasn't saying anything. So kudos to you, Angela. Exclusive. I don't want it. Hog is helping her now. Sherelle Hodges. Okay, Jessica. It says she has no content. Why you watch her then? I don't know. They talk about her children, try to get her to spaz out. Well, yeah, y'all know the play. Let me say this play. Let me say what play, if y'all pay attention. Let me wait a minute. There's two Angelas on here. Angela Dickinson, Bree put up that about the passport just to get people to clown him. You really feel like she did that? So let me ask you something, Angela. Let's be fair. Now let me ask. So your opinion is that Bree put up the passport just so people could go after Robert. Okay. So why do you think, in your opinion, now be fair, why do you think Robert gets on social media and does the thing that he does subliminally and says the things that he said subliminally about her? Is that just because he's just crashing out, or is he trying to get people to attack her or say, what do you need? Hold on, y'all. So I want you to answer that question for me. If you feel that that is her reasoning, if we adopt your reasoning, then what is his reasoning? Because we have heard the things, people have got them, they have been deleted, but you know, people have them where he was in the nightclub, he said her name, blah, blah, blah. What is his reasoning? I'm gonna let Angela answer that, not Angela Jefferson, Angela Dickerson. Because I'm gonna be fair. You know, you have to be, I'm gonna be fair. If that's your belief, then let me put the question back at you about what he does, because everybody has a reason about why she does what she do, but why do he do what he do, which was one of the issues that I had when I was covering the story. It was like everybody had a reason of what she did, but he was kind of doing things indirectly as well. What was his reason? His reasons can be excused, but hers have to be analyzed and critiqued. To be honest, hey Red, to be honest, nobody is running RH name currently, but Red, my girl, she come through with it. Y'all need to understand this man is pushing a dead song that's 5 years old. His own so-called CCs don't push his music. He needs to rebuild himself. D Red coming in with the play. Exactly. Robert came to the internet first with Baby Girl about the past before break. And yo, Latrick, I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. She did not bring that to the internet first. See, she did not bring that, y'all. Pay attention to the timeline. It seems like the timeline stops at break. Y'all want to start it there, but if you go back, it did not start there. It did not start there with the passport. So thank you, Latricia, for bringing that up. Exclusive said, y'all hate this girl so much, y'all dissect everything she says. If she wants to take a children out of the country, that's her prerogative. She's a custodial parent. Yes, she is. She is the primary custodial parent. They have shared. So you have two forms of custody. You have physical custody and you have legal custody. Legal custody just means they make decisions together. If they are unable to come to a decision, then being that she's the primary parent, she gets to make the final decision. She makes the final decision. And y'all, it's on the internet. You can pull it up. Okay. You can pull it up. She will make the final decision. She goes to him first. She makes a valid effort to go to him because they are both the parents. They talk it out. If they cannot come to an agreement, she has the last say. That's a fact. It's in the agreement. Let's keep it 100. Baby mama said something about the trip and Robert broke up the passports, not Bree. Yes. Baby Momo. You said Baby Momo. I'm sorry. I ain't got my glasses on. And so when is the last time Bree mentioned him directly? Then check RH page. I'll wait. Hey, Nataria. That's okay, boo. Ashley D and Amora doesn't talk about RH daily. They talk about all kinds of things. No, they sure. Ashley D doesn't even talk about RH. Amora brings up whatever happens going on with him, but how long does she stay on him? When the last time Ashley D talked about RH? I don't remember, y'all. I could miss some lies, but I don't think Ashley D. I don't think so. I haven't seen it. Marissa isn't F Robert and everything he stands on. Nerves. Oh, she says F. Girl, you threw me with that one. Exclusive said, what they need to do is start dissecting Robert Smith because that man is doing a whole lot of stuff out here. Degrading women is one of them, and being at this, women are women. They should be. And let me tell you something about that. And I think that was one thing, again, that I wanted to dissect that. When I was making my transition off of the DV and just basically, I wanted, just like I dissected Bree, I wanted to dissect his because I felt like his actions were not being, people were not bringing that to the forefront, except for people they felt disliked him. So it's not going to be looked at in an unbiased way. Like, look at what's going on. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that, anyway, Bree have not spoken to that man since she's been divorced her last year of April. No point in going back and forth at this point. They turn everything around to fit the narrative. They do. Hey, Ashley D, what's going on, sis? Hey, Tamik, what's going on, sis? It's in there. Marissa Wright, been listening quietly, just comment when they are. It should be in there. Ashley D in the building. Yes, she is. RH yesterday, and his daughter too. Oh, she did? Okay, well, like I said, if she spoke, I think, well, I didn't look. Okay, take it, Angela. She spoke on him yesterday. But when was the last time she spoke to him, spoke about him prior to that? You could say the same thing about me today. Today, all of a sudden, they could say, oh, she's speaking on RH, she's speaking on Bree. When was the last time I spoke about them? And I don't talk about them at all. I can guarantee you. But the reason why I'm speaking about them today in the whole situation is because of the whole children thing. Talk about, if you want to talk about Bree, you know, if you feel that's your content, talk about it. But let's be real about it. You have every right. Everybody can talk to you about what they want to on their platform. Hey, Ashley had a conversation about a passport with baby girl in the car. He did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And didn't, okay. Did he not speak about her with baby dolls as well? So, Angela, let me ask you this question. Angela Dickens, let me ask you this question. When he was in the car talking to baby girl, and they was talking about baby dolls, and he mentioned something about her mama, what was that for? Well, do you think that was for attention, or do you think it just slipped out? What do you think that was for? All right, Tamik. Jessica, it's like beating a dead horse with these people. They don't get it. You could talk about Brie all day long. Don't bring up her kids. That's what I say. Just getting up. No, I brought up that point. Yeah, Ashley, I think you were talking about I caught a little bit of your live yesterday. You know, sometimes I can make it in, I can't. I don't bring him up every day. No, she doesn't. We're talking about people who consistently bring them up every day. I want Angela to give me a comparison of who talks about him every day besides him and Jeannie whenever she does, because Jeannie has already said it. She already says he is her content. Besides them two, who consistently talks about RH every single day, videos, breaks them down, break down who he talked to, dialogue every single day. That's who I want you to tell me who talks about him. That's my question. Yes, brown eyes, just the same way that Bree is an influencer, she can be talked about. Y'all won that argument. Bree is an influencer. She's on social media. She can be talked about. So can RH. But why the kids? Go ahead, Tamik. Ashley only just asked a question that was her first time saying, yeah, that was. Every damn live label RH, you got to be kidding me. No, she don't. Ashley don't even barely talks about. She barely talk about the saga. If anything, it's more with the content creators. I don't think she understands what the word daily means. Hey, Patrice. He also said your mama shouldn't lose your passport with him knowing she didn't lose it. He just refused to sign it, renew it. Yep. Latanya, he said your mama used to always play with baby. Yes, he did. And I'm trying to ask Angela, do she feel him saying that? Was that him bringing content? Was that trying to get people to talk about her in a negative way about her playing with baby dolls? Do you think that was for that? I mean, just be honest. He needs Brianna's attention. He want a reaction so badly from her because him being a narcissist, his levels are love. She is his supply, but that supply has been cut off. Exclusive gonna tell it. You hear me? She might be. I thought he was famous. What famous person is not talked about? Girl. speaks. Now, Miss Harrison, I have to agree with that one. Talked about him yesterday. Yeah, that was just like I'm talking about him today, y'all. It's the first time we're just covering it because it's a hot topic right now. But I can guarantee you, once this live ends, it probably will not be talked about because it's nothing to really dive into. It's really, I mean, and why put it at tell me who talks about his kids. Right. He wanted baby girl to say her mama has dolls instead of actual babies. Yes, lady. Exactly. He keeps subbing her for her attention. She's feeding high dusk and makes him angry and hurt. There you go, Omar. You know Omar are going to know. Exactly. D-Red said the negative speaking on RH is the only thing that keeps RH's name alive. If it won't for that, he wouldn't be talked about at all. To be honest, the CCs ain't got to do no content on him just because it's not going. Exactly. Exactly, D-Red. Exactly. Let me tell you, this is my opinion. My opinion, okay? If now y'all think about this. If a regular content creator, not regular, what I'm saying, a content creator that's probably not one of our, in this particular sector, a heavy hitter, maybe a new content creator, if they make content about Robert, do you think that particular live is going to jump off the way a heavy hitters one talk about? Do you think if Amora talks about Robert, if Jeannie talks about Robert, if they talk about Robert, do you think that somebody who just started is going to get the same type of traction that they get just because they got RH in the title or RH in the thumbnail? The answer is no. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's not the topic, it's the content creator. It's not the topic, it's the content creator. And the sooner people realize that, the better. It is not the topic that is being talked about. It is a content creator that is speaking about it, that is bringing the views. That's right, Brown Eyes. RH brought her that damn baby, brought up, yes, need a doll. My mom collected the porcelain dolls. These are really, it is. Working but showing the part. Thank you, 12K. Robert, them residuals gonna go. Angela. The bottom line, Robert and his supporters are mad Bree is not back at Best Buy. That's it, Latanya. RH put everything of his fake page to look like it us Bree and Ja. When them people come in the chat lying, talking about they got proof. Girl, they don't need receipts. He really is, Amora. He really, really is. It's really nothing to talk about. I'm going to be honest. It's not any content. I mean, I don't care who you are, whether you support him or not, there's no content. There's no content. None. She says, I'm Brianna. Now, Robert calls me the Asian lady, but I'm not even that. How long do both of them? Mark said he mad at those residual. Giant. He said, Amora said he mad at the residuals, Giants. D-Red says, why don't his supporting content creators do content on him, his music, his skits, his videos? Maybe that will push out the negative things, but what they doing now ain't. I have to, oh my God. D-Red, I think me and you one time got on a panel and we spoke about this. I got a little bash for this. I specifically said, support his music, support, you know, his brand. I said, so at the time, I think he was doing the beard oil, support his beard oil, support all that, share his lives. That's what I said. That's what a supporter does. If you are a supporter of somebody, you're going to support whatever type of brand they may be selling, or I'm sorry, not brand, product they may be selling. That's how you support. How do you support? Let me ask you a question. If I ask somebody, I need you to support me while I go after this new career. Okay. But you got my ex on the other hand that's talking about me, crapping about me, saying I was, as a supporter, are you going to go and do a live on him and say you're supporting me and my new career? Are you going to do a live on him talking about me? Or are you going to support me going to my new career. I tell you to share my stuff, share this, share that. Are you going to do that? That's somebody who supports me. Or are you going to talk about my ex and do videos on him and saying, yeah, we're supporting Sean? How you supporting me? My name ain't nowhere on that title or nowhere on your thumbnail. He's a hurt puppy that can't get over his loss of woman taking care of him. I do believe that. Arch is not famous if you can't pull him up on Google. Y'all, my sister, I have all kind of family in Atlanta, and they don't even know him, to be honest. Be honest, they don't know Bree either. But I'm just saying, you know, they don't do content on Arch because his name do not bring the views. Interesting, they hate Bree. That's too much energy. Most of us don't hate Robert. You gonna kill me with that name, girl. We just dislike him. He's a clown, arrogant, condescending. I would have to agree with that. He's not done anything to me personally for me to hate. Nobody has done anything to me for me to use the word hate. That's a strong word. You may dislike the person that the personality and what they display here on social media. That's what you dislike. Why won't he go ahead and get into a relationship? Oh, I know why. Because he knows that's going to reveal the real Robert. The same Robert that Brianna said, They say we should be talking about Bree being abused by Ja, encouraging him to leave him. And that's another thing that I don't understand. Bree name brings the views, just like Cora name. The men are soup sandwiches by the more in her analysis. Don't hate anyone, but why he showed me who he was and lied about a lot of things. That's when I had lost. Yes, Ashley D. Exactly. A lot of people don't understand that when you get into something, the more you learn about a person, the more and you watch them more, you observe their behavior, you're like, I don't, what? That's when you start questioning their behavior, questioning things. Like I said, y'all already know what I've told y'all. I started questioning things a long time ago. I started questioning certain behaviors, certain things. I just like his cockiness. Tamika, I do too. D-Red said, they say I switch sides too. I don't give a F because I ain't obsessively invested in this. When I notice him moving funny, I'll call it out the same way I did Bree. Exactly, D-Red. And see, that's the thing, y'all. I think even, if Lampo don't mind, I think even Lampo did the same thing. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, correct me. There are some of us that just want to call out things on. We're not for this person or for that person, but if they do good, we're going to call out they're good. If they do bad, we're going to call out they're bad. It's not, I'm just going to overlook the stupid stuff that this person do and just focus on the negative of this person. I'm sorry, I'm so behind. That's why I brought up Arch yesterday. They said that about Bree's son. I said we could say the same thing about him. When his daughter said something to her, he said it wasn't true. True. Bree said he's 43. He doesn't do anything worth watching but chasing behind women and degrading women. He's washed up, count the men up, and get a real job. Rita, did you go in or did you go in? That's why I brought up her age yesterday. By them breaking up Bree abuse accusations with her son, I said, what about our... Exactly. Y'all notice that everything he has something to match, but it's not brought up. It's never brought up. But yeah, D-Red, I did. She said he can't maintain that false persona that he's trying to point out again. Everybody masks always fall off. I will never continue to watch a content creator I don't like every day. They have hate. Exactly, brown eyes. How can you tell me more about somebody you hate than you can about somebody you like? I promise you, I can't tell you anything about somebody I dislike. I can't tell you nothing, nada, zip. We in the now. If you take out the past and just focus on the now, which one seems bitter and which one seems to have moved on? Now I'm logging off to finish my work. All right, D-Red girl, thank you for coming in. Y'all listen, that's what I said earlier. If she does something now, we're not going to dwell on what she done now. They're going to go back to something she said in the past. They're going to bring up the videos as something that she said in the past about you. Girl, do you remember when you said this about, you said that he was the stall of the divorce. You said that he was this. Okay. But we're talking about today. Since all that, she done had 2 babies. She done had 2 babies. She's in she's resurfaced a new relationship. So what's going on now? What are we talking about now? Okay, we're talking about what happened then. The divorce is done. Okay, you believe that she said this. You believe you said that. Okay, all right, we get it. All right, but what's going on today? Let's talk about today. No problem. Not calling out RH. What's the difference? That's right, Ashley. That is exactly right. What's going on, Candy? That is exactly right. He walked around like he is perfect, like he don't do no wrong. That's right. That's right. I have to say, y'all, D-Red was one of the ones. I mean, neither side really know which way, but she was calling it out from both angles. She really was. She was trying to call it out from both angles. And if she called out from RH, of course, she would get smashed by, the Brianna supporters. When she called out RH stuff, I'm sorry, did I say that backwards? When she called out RH stuff, she would get questioned by RH supporters, but it wasn't that. She was just saying, okay, let's talk about what he did yesterday. What did he do versus what you talking about, what she did 6 months ago. Hey, if they cannot talk about what you're doing right now, then they go back to your past. They go back to your past. What did she do 2 years ago? What did she do this many years ago? What did she say 7 months ago? What did she say 7 months ago? Yeah, let's hold that against her. What did she say? And the person could have been apologized, moved on, got new content. The person could be gone, done. And you bring up something that they have already said. Check this. Already done sat, talked about, been forgiven, sat down, probably had a long talk with God, asked God for forgiveness, and they moving on. But the people, human people, will never let a person forget. Oh, you remember when you did this? You remember when you did that? Girl, remember when you... Anyway, y'all get the point. You dealt with a bitter ex-husband, boyfriend, or baby daddy. Exactly. The only difference is hers is on display. Do is bring up the past. Bring up the past. While he's out here talking about his ex still wants him, dude, you need to have that waterhead of yours exam for real. D. Adams, he never said a solid foundation for himself. That's why he's ringing it now. He's lost in trying to bring the ex down and destroying himself in the process. I have to say that part about him destroying himself in the process, that's a fact. Because while you're trying to hurt somebody else, you could end up hurting yourself. 4 months. She sure did, brown eyes. She sure did. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to tell y'all this. And I always have to make examples out of my own life because I don't want examples out of anybody else's life. Men, this is what I get about men. Men. When men and women break up, when they go their separate ways, 9 times out of 10, it's easier for a woman. She takes her a little time, but sometimes it's easier for a woman to move on because, us as women, we get very, very emotionally invested in our relationships. So it may take us, before we leave a relationship, we've already checked out while we was in the relationship 9 times out of 10. That's what happened in my marriage. I checked out before I actually physically checked out. And the emotions are gone. So it's kind of easier for us to move on and just go. Now, do I agree that Bree was still emotional during that time? Yeah, I do. I don't think she really had any time to heal, but that's neither here nor there. We 3 years out. But a man, if a man usually do not talk about an ex that he had 2 or 3 years ago, he really does not. He don't even care, but he really don't talk about it, especially when what my ex would say when your goods been compromised. Y'all know what I mean by that? So when my ex says, we break up, as long as I ain't with nobody, whatever, I ain't been with nobody physically, sexually, whatever, I'm still always going to be his wife. Okay. But he said, when you compromise yourself, oh, you ain't never got to worry about me no more. So that means that when she done laid down or I laid down or been with another man, I'll forget it. He don't want nothing to do with me. We just, we just buddies. We homeboys. Men get like that. They're very territorial when it comes to, okay, Candy. They're very territorial when it comes to stuff like that. They're very territorial. Like they don't want to go behind no man. They don't want to do that. So men, well, I know they will not. Once you've been with another man, they kind of ease on off, unless it's just a deep marriage or whatever. They don't ease on off. They don't like that kind of stuff. They tend to just move on. This girl had 2 whole babies. That's Tinker. I know that's Tinkers. That's Tinkers. Thank you, Tinkers. Thank you. Let me hit this because that's Miss Coleman. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I want to say your YouTube name because I know a lot of you don't want to say your whole name. So, but I'm getting the cash up and I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I got to check my coffee link too. I'm going to check it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Oh, that was me. Okay, me. That was you. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, Candy. We always check out emotionally first most of the time before we check out physically. So my thing is, I do feel like this is what I feel, my opinion about Brie. I've never even spoken about this, but I do feel like there was a time in the beginning. Yes, I do feel like the first 3 or 4 months, she was not over him. She was still kind of invested. I do feel like that. And that's because there was not enough time to heal. I don't think she checked out before the marriage ended. I don't think, because I do think she still wanted her marriage to a certain degree. But I think after a while, I think she just got over it. Like, I'm just done. Like, I think she started stepping outside the relationship. She started stepping outside and looking back in. And that's when it made her just be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm good. I do believe that. Hey, Queen D, what's going on, beautiful? I don't dislike RH to wish him pain. They say every day Brie getting karma, she not happy. They want pain. I don't. Came out the bed, which you said she been checked down and see exclusive with no. She was in that toxicity for 6 whole years. Robert come out in the mid with what you did. You'll be respected more if you did that. Right. Brown Eyes said, Sean, what hurts me is every time Josh show love to his kids, they say he doesn't want them. Bree take their babies to see him. He doesn't like her other kids. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. There are stuff that's said on here that even myself, I look and say, wow, is that hate? Like, again, I'm going to ask this question. I think she was emotionally checked out before the marriage was over. It was in her. Okay. Let me say this, y'all. What was that? Girl, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I do think he is hurt, Candy. I do. I don't think people realize the things that they say because they dislike and hate somebody so much. They don't realize or stop and think that what if it was them? You know what I'm saying? What if it was them? This is this man's first kids. I ain't in that man's head. I don't know how you feel, but I would think he's kind of showing to the public. Now, no matter what you think about him, or no matter what you supposedly found about him in the background, what we know to the public is that he is proud to be a father. You don't know how that has made him feel. He's never had kids. He's a first-time father. He's experiencing things. And that moment is being drained out, or he's not allowing it. You can see he's not allowing it. But to a person on the outside looking in, that moment is kind of being taken away from him because now you're trying to tell that man how he feels about his own children. I had a 7-year-old woman tell me before, when a man is sleeping, a woman is a 70. I'm sorry, 70. I said 7. Jesus. When a man is sleeping, a woman is always thinking. She checked out mentally before she left physically. You got that right. I asked, just like I asked earlier, what is the end game? What do they want from her? Where do they want to see her? Where do they want her to be? What would make them happy, or where do they want her to be? Because I always said, I hope that Robert's platform flourishes if he just focus. I think he can, if he focus on his music and focus on better things, I think that his platform can rise again. Hey, you did it one time, you can do it again. Okay? Don't give a woman that much power. You're giving a woman a lot of power to say she destroyed everything. That's a lot of power you're giving to one human being. Okay? So, but what do they want her to see? What do they want her to do to come on social media and do to make them realize? Let's say this. Let's speak hypothetically, y'all, and don't bite my head off when I say this. I'm speaking hypothetically. It's the woman don't have a man that want to speak a girl on a woman that does for me. Hey, Callie, what's going on, brother? What's going on? They want her to leave social media. Okay, is that what it is? Is that what it is? They want her at Best Buy, no money, no man, her kids in the system with their sick butts. Okay. Okay. I'm really just trying to figure out where do you want her to be? I would love for anybody to, where do you want her to be? Do you want her to be in a corner, just crying? Where exactly do you want her to go? Where do you want her to be? What do you want her to do that would convince you guys that, 2 years ago, the woman that was in pain, the woman that was going through a divorce is now a woman that is trying to evolve and become a mom and take care of her kids and move on in her current life? What would make people feel better? And that is a legit question. It's not a funny question. It's a legit question. Robert is definitely hurt because he was planning to go back to Brown when all this BS was over and it didn't go his way. Okay, Latanya. I'm gonna have to say, y'all, it's just very perplexing to me. What do you want? I understand reporting on the saga, but I don't understand the end game now because nobody talks about Robert. And I have yet to see the 3 names, which answers my question. And that was a legit question. Was it not, y'all? It was a legit question. She said it's 3 people that consistently talks about Robert. And I have yet to see who those 3 people are. And I was really being sincere when I asked that question. Like, I really want to know. Who really talks about RH? Who really talks about him? Besides Jeannie, which she's already said she does. She's already stated that's who she talks about. And Robert talks about Robert. But who does consistent content on him? Who talks about his music? Who critiques his music? Who goes and break down his lives? I remember I was doing that before, I was just totally, whatever. I was trying to bring awareness to him, whether it was good or bad. I was bringing them, something, I truly believe their hate wants Bree off this planet. Girl, Candy, you know what? That's why I guess I'm just kind of hesitant, because I would hate in my heart to really think that, I feel those side shines. This is a shit show. I pray Bree keeps on elevating and leave the crabs where they belong. You know what? Because you really don't know what to say. You really don't know. I just want to know what the end game. Once all this is over, if Bree shuts her social media down, if Josh shuts his social media down, what's next? What's next? Which we know that's not going to happen, but what's next? I'm going to say this. They say, why do you, every time something dies down, you want us to start talking about? Bree is a content creator, a blogger. She is going to bring content. Everything she brings to the internet is not specifically for people to drag. It's because, hey, I am a blogger. I am a influencer or whatever title she gives herself. She makes her living off what she does on social media. So what do you want her to do? That's what she do. The job of a blogger or content creator is to bring traction to their channel by bringing interesting content and by bringing interesting stuff to their page so people can talk about them. So what is she doing different that somebody else isn't doing it? That's all she's accomplishing it, because the people that are even speaking negative about her, she got y'all view. She definitely got y'all view. Me. And then they even said the girl wasn't pregnant. I ain't never said the girl wasn't pregnant. I said that I felt like maybe she was having one because she was so small. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm reading y'all comments. Broke and sad. They should dig a hole for themselves, though. Y'all better understand something. And I'm saying this from experience. The hate for her is the strongest ever seen. I'm going to say this from experience. When you have, my understanding is Bree did lose her mother at an early age. I don't think people's even thinking about the trauma that this girl has been through in her early life. And I'm pretty sure Robert has been through trauma too. But I don't think that people understand the trauma that girl has gone through, and they don't consider those dynamics. They don't consider that, and to be a person, a young lady out here so young without her mom, seeing her mom pass or whatever, she has a guardian angel up there. She does. She definitely does. So you got to be very wary of that, very conscious of that, very conscious of that. Some people's existence alone, all by itself, irritates a hater. So, oh, say it, Callie. Say it, Callie. Exactly. Some people's existence alone, all by itself, irritate a hater soul. I remember somebody told me, why don't I just leave? Me. Why don't I just leave? Get off, just go. Just get off social media, just go. Well, damn. Well, goddamn. Okay. Yeah, keep giving her your views, because that's putting money in her pocket. Keep going over there, sitting there watching her. And I don't think Bree minds it, because I think that's what she's doing. If y'all look at her views are in millions. So I don't think she minds. Her thing is keep going, because she know with the good comes the bad. So she's aware of that. I just think it bothers her, that her kids are being called that. And I think as a mother, forget her title, she's a mother first. And I think her conscience as a mother is going to kick in before anything. She is very formidable. I was drawn to a more defending her, because I went through a similar situation. When I say I left that village with small-minded people, I left and never looked back. I know that's right. Except for checking my family. Well, you guys, that is what I wanted to. And I know a lot of people like, what's the correlation between the first one and the second one? The correlation is, the bottom line is, people are spending too much time talking about things that really have no relevance. And this is not saying anything against Brianna. It's just that I'm trying to figure out what's so significant about her life that's going to make a difference in this world, except a difference in the pockets. It'll make a difference in them pocketbooks. But what about her story that we can't turn around and start talking about things that are going on that needs our attention, like these girls, these young girls, like what's going on in our community, what's going on in society, what's going on. Let's bring traction to that. If you want to hunt somebody down and do background and dissect what they do, dissect Nazaya Harris's grandmother, dissect Nazaya Harris's mother, dissect the new girl, dissect her mother, dissect her grandmother, dissect them fathers, dissect them. What makes them tick to come on and have those particular things happen to them? Dissect them. Don't dissect a young lady who was involved in a DV 2 or 3 years ago that's moved on with her life, and what you deem as just stupid or irresponsible or dumb, or you to the point, whatever. That's not content. That's not content. And let's talk about calling CPS for what? For what? What are you going to call CPS? Oh, listen. What are you going to say? I can hear the call right now. Hey, listen. I'm on social media. I don't want to give my name, but I'm on social media, right? And this is girl named, her name is Brianna Battle, right? And so here's a person on the other line. I want to make an anonymous report about this girl named Brianna Battle. See, I seen her on social media, right? And hold on. Do you not know this young lady personally? No, I don't know her personally, but I know that she accused this guy named Robert, her ex-husband, of DV. And I know that she called the police on him and he had a GUN in the house. I know that, ma'am. Well, anyway, I think that what she did, she went on a trip. She took her baby, she took her twins, and they went on a trip, and she left her other kids home. And were they home by themselves? Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. I just assumed on social media because I really don't like her like that. Is that what you're going to call them and tell them? Is that what you're going to call them and tell them on the phone? Proud eyes. Is that what you're going to call them and tell them on the phone? We're going to call CPS and say what? That her kids were where? So, his screwed up supporters were going around saying she was going to steal babies out there. What? I know better, Latanya. I'm just saying, what is the conversation going to be about? A lot of stuff this person called her babies a stiff. Did you hear that person call her babies a stiff? What? All right, you guys. Y'all know I done been over past my time. Nope, they said it loud and clear. She was going to steal babies out the hospital. I'll be god darn. Steal babies out. Now they got the girl committing kidnapping. And they got Jonelle aiding and abetting. Well, I'll be darned. That's felonies altogether. Well, I'll be damned. Brown eyes, yes. Maybe if somebody would have called CPS on Nazea and them little kids, people, maybe they would be alive today. Oh my God, y'all! I don't believe y'all. There's some of this stuff I have not heard. I have not heard this. Oh my gosh! Tell me, okay, hold on. Tell me why they didn't call CPS when RH left Momo in that car by herself after 8 p.m. What? He went in the store, had a conversation, came back outside. What? Okay, Ashley. Callie says big facts. They hate her happiness. They can't possibly be happy in their own lives. These aren't things happy people do. Exactly. Because why would you have time to dissect this girl's life? Call CPS, trying to take her kids. You're not thinking about her kids. You just want to hurt her. They even said she was going to fake a miscarriage because she wasn't really pregnant. Hey, Peaches. Can't do all this stuff about the kids. It's exasperating. I know. Y'all, some of this stuff, y'all be getting me with. I have not heard this. The only thing I heard about the babies was the turtle thing. That's the only thing I've heard. Y'all, that is diabolical. That is, let me tell you something. A happy person ain't got time to talk about. Okay, BM. Hey, Gloria, they said the hospital orchestrated the fake babies with her. So not only y'all, who coming up with this? Not only was she and Ja committing a crime, so was oh my God. Y'all better call true crime. Brianna faked her pregnancies. She wasn't really going to get no ultrasounds. They were fake. Now she tried to kidnap babies from the hospital? Where y'all? Oh my God. And they call the CPS on Brianna, and Brianna and her kids are living better than most of them over there. RH stated that turtle thing when Ja called. Yeah, I remember that. They gonna come for what? Because they probably are. They're probably gonna come for a lot of us. But you know what? That's what they do, y'all. We speak our minds and we go on. That it is what it is. And I asked this question: if they take baby girl, who will get her? Because the other baby dads will get. Exactly, Latricia. Exactly. Are you thinking about the kids? And they're not gonna take those kids. Okay, it takes a lot for them to take kids. You have to be, the mother has to be totally incompetent to take care of her kids. That means, totally negligent. Those kids have to be darn near malnourished. There's a lot of things that will go into CPS just taking a child away from their mom just because people on social media call on the phone. This is a lifetime moving in the making. It sure is. Baby, she has elevated. Ja hooked her up with movies and got her and the kids a deal with. She paid for the operating room. Y'all, I'm getting off of here. Y'all ain't This is getting funny. Doesn't believe his daughter's being mistreated. That's why he doesn't file papers or call CPS. He know that. He even himself, y'all. If y'all don't remember, I'm getting ready to get off, y'all. If y'all don't remember in the beginning, if y'all were here from the very beginning, Robert always complimented Bree about her being a good mom. Do y'all remember when Bree was in that car, when she had the short hair, and when this very thing first came out, and Robert said it too. Now, if you have been day one, you remember when this was said. And if you remember this, put a 1 in the chat. They both, their argument, one of their arguments was, Robert said that he wanted Brianna to treat him or give him the attention that he gave those kids. Did he or did he not say that? He complimented her on her being a good mom. Yes or no? Now, if you were here from day one, you remember that. Day one, she was in her car and they was complaining because people was jumping on her or saying stuff about, her giving the same attention to Robert that she gave to her kids. That came out of his mouth. That came out his mouth. So now all of a sudden she's a bad mom. He himself said that one of the problems in their marriage was because she does not give him the attention and the same type of love that she gives her children. Am I wrong? Janice, he said that's what made him fall in love with her. Checkmate. So I don't even want to hear anything about her mothering. I mean, who cares about who they come for? I damn sure don't give it. I know you don't, Tamika. Listen, when Tamika go in, Tamika going in. Wow, I didn't know that, Latanya. But if y'all remember that, he darn sure that came out his own mouth. That is why he will never call CPS on that girl. That's why he will never say anything negative about her mothering skills, because he came out from the get-go, from the beginning when this went down, and he complimented the way she are with her children. One was appealed and they still had custody of their kids. They so dumb. It don't work like that. Sure don't, Candy. It sure don't. A mother's love is different, dude. I wish you would figure it out. I wish people would just remember, but I'm gonna say this, y'all. A lot of people were not here from the beginning, so they missed a lot of that stuff. A lot of people were not here from the beginning. They were not here from the beginning, so they have missed a lot of things that were said in the beginning. If you were here from the beginning, then you will kind of understand the dynamics of a lot of stuff. But if you were not here from the initial beginning, you missed a lot. And I'm talking about from October, even maybe a couple of weeks prior to that, because they was already talking about getting a divorce. Brianna came out and she stuck up for him. And she was like, well, if my husband want to talk about his problems on social media, she came out and stuck up for him. A couple of weeks later, boom. So if you were here for it, you were here for it. You've seen it play out. So You had to be here for it to see that from the beginning. A lot of things were said and missed, and a lot of people have conveniently overlooked that. You cannot go and say she's a bad mother now when you said that's what made you fall in love with this young lady, and you said even when y'all was in the midst of fighting, you said that you wanted her to give you the same type of love that she gave her children. What does that tell you about her mother skills? Enough for me. They were exclusive. But you co-sign, I'm going to say this, but you co-sign when they call her a bad mother. You co-sign that. You co-sign, or you don't try to stop like, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. I know that me and her, we got into it. I know, I told you she did this, she did that, but I'm going to have to step in now. She's a good mom. She's the mother of my child. She's a good mom. She's a good mom. They won't even give her that. So it's a lot of stuff that y'all I could come out and reminisce and say about. That just tells you I've been here from the beginning. So I've seen everything. So as a supporter, but not as a content creator, but I have definitely seen everything when everybody came in. I know when everybody came in. I know when every content creator started theirs. I know everything because I was here as a supporter. Day one, Brown Eyes, day one. I know what happened with the filing of the divorce, everything. Yes, Bree was the one that came out and said she filed for divorce. Yes, she did. I think that was in November. Was it not? The end of November, beginning of December, something like that? Something like that, y'all. Okay, she live. Okay, all right, y'all. I'm about to wrap it up. You guys, thank you so much for coming in. I went over my time, y'all. Even ordered damn near be his. Yeah, Candy. Yes. Thank you guys so much for coming in and support. Y'all know I usually only stay on an hour, but it did get interesting. So thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for the Cash App, and thank you for, girl, I gotta pull my my coffee link up, y'all. I can't get directly to it. I got to go through so many avenues to get to it. But thank you guys for sending that. I really appreciate you guys for coming in. And my moms, Candy, Tamik, Miss Judy, guys, thank you so much. And my supporters, I appreciate you guys so much. Exclusive, my girl, I appreciate you. You always bring the noise, the news. Okay, Tamik. But thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys. So I will see you guys on the net, or I will see you guys in the chat. And until next time, and we'll keep updates on everything that's going on. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I will see you guys later.